Hey everybody, we're here at Twin Valley High School's new Video Production Center, home of TSN, the student network. We'll be meeting up with Bobby Edwards, Chief of Dover Police Department and the founder of TSN. He'll be giving us a tour of the studio.
The TSN program started about 8 years ago, and in the early days, we didn't have a place to work out of. So our equipment was spread out all over the school in 3 different rooms, at my house in 3 different locations, and we basically worked out of boxes for the first 6 years. So it was tough. It was really hard because there's a lot of equipment and we had to set up. It would take us hours and sometimes a half a day to set up a site, and then we'd be tearing it down as soon as we were done shooting. So that was quite troublesome, and it really did prevent us from really developing the way I hoped we would develop. So in 2004, with the collaboration between Wilmington and Whitingham High Schools, TSN was able to get a room in a full-time studio. So we set out to develop the studio. We had students who came in and painted and helped clean. Students helped with construction. And over the summer of 2004, we built the main structure of the unit. Studio is broken basically into 2 rooms. The front room, which is the stage or the studio itself, has a permanent backdrop with a nice bookshelf. And we use this for our Valley Views program, which we're developing in the fall of 2006, or any other program that we're doing. We have the ability to put up backdrops to change the studio, the look and the feel. And we also have a blue screen, which can be used to superimpose one set of video over another for special effects. It's sort of tricky to use, but it is something that will be valuable to us and adds to our versatility. Now, the control room is really the heart of the whole studio. What we've done is we've pre-wired up to 4 cameras from the studio part that run into the control room into a switcher, a digital switcher, and from there the operator, who can see what all 4 cameras are seeing on a monitor, can switch the program live as we go along. We also have recording equipment. We have not only audio mixing equipment, but also a what we call an audio workstation, so those who want to produce their own music can actually record and establish their own music, which has been an added feature. Now, we also have all the equipment rack mounted, and on this rack are also patch boards. So what has happened is all the equipment terminates on these patch boards, which allows us to connect any piece of equipment in the control room to any other piece of equipment. This prevents us from having to look behind and constantly try to figure out how equipment is wired, which can get very confusing, as you can see from the wiring here in this photo. The control room is also equipped with 2 Media 100 broadcast quality editing systems, which allows us, what's nice about the non-linear editing systems, the computer systems, it's like word processing with video. You can put your video clips in, your sound clips in, your music, and you can mix it all together and chop it up and move it around. It's very simple and makes it very easy, which is a far step from the early reel-to-reel recorders that you used to use, where once you laid something down, that was it. You couldn't go back and insert something. You had to start all the way at the beginning and start over again. Because money is tight, often what we do is we build our own equipment whenever possible and do whatever we can for ourselves. One of the features that we have as far as equipment is concerned is a crane that we built, which allows a camera to be mobile in an upward and downward movement to give us sort of a different feel for the angle of the camera. These cranes usually run somewhere around $500 just for the crane itself, and another $700 or $800 for the tripod to support it. By doing it ourselves, we were actually able to build the crane for about $50 worth of materials, and a small LCD monitor was attached. So it works just as well as any one that I've seen in another studio situation. So that's just one of the ways that we've tried to improvise and make the dollars go as far as we can. The other system we built ourselves with a tally light system that goes on each camera. The tally lights tell the talent, the people on set, and also the camera operator, which camera is hot, which camera is recording at this time. In the past, we've had situations where we have the talent talking to one camera, but the other camera is actually recording them. So that's a system that we built ourselves. Again, to buy this system was around $700 or $800. We were actually able to build it for less than $100 ourselves. And so again, just one more example of how we can stretch the dollars and make things work. But probably the most significant piece of equipment that we'd be able to build ourselves was a teleprompter. Now, what a teleprompter does is put the script up in front of the talent so that they can read the script while looking directly at the camera. The teleprompters usually are a very expensive item. They run, the cheapest one I've ever seen is $1,500, and usually they run anywhere from $4,500 to $6,500 depending on what you're getting. We were able to build one ourselves that works just as well as any of the studio ones, and I think we have a little less than $300 into the whole package, and it's worked very well. So it's interesting what you can do when you need to be creative and you need to stretch the dollars and the things that you can do for yourselves. And that's one of the things we like to teach, is that you can do things for yourself. You don't always have to necessarily depend on someone else.
Well, everyone, as you can see, the TSN Studio has come a long way just over the past 2 years, and we can only hope to expect more from our little studio. This is Tyler Rebello signing off for TSN, the Student Network.